on. Well, you know what? Here's what we're doing. We are, instead of force grid, yes, instead of that, what we're going to do is just do one of those. What's a good one? Actually, yeah, we'll do that. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, that'll work. Let's do it. Oops. There we go. Doing it.
The Dork Forest reunion episode with Niles Merlinowski. Isn't that right, my little Miaziba? Greetings. It is a much older Niles Merlinowski, for the Prismatic Dimensions always enacts a cost for its services. We give thanks to them for a foolish recovery from the hour and gap box. Applaud at your leisure. I would also like to thank John Delancey, who did an excellent job standing in for me and taking care of my little Meowsabab, and actually made the shithole better than I left it. My appreciation is sadly counterbalanced by this breaking news. The yoga event that happened yesterday was caught up in the severe thunderstorms I missed on my teleportation back. A show must go on attitude didn't serve well, and the bounced castle was taken up the tornado and deposited 5 miles from its location. The only survivor is Melissa Rivers, who just finished burying all the Jewish residents herself and will be sitting Shiva for the next few days. I'll see you all there. I'm sure she's got some stories to tell. Her mother, Joan, was looking out for her, for better or worse. We'll miss you, John. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm backlogged with viewer mail. So let's start off with some viewer questions. Boyle from Kyle Heights writes, "This prismatic dimension is intriguing. What was it like there? How are people born to them different than us here, and how does our coming affect the old ones?" This I can answer directly. They are mostly immaterial, containing ideas far more energetic and lively than those we share with humanity. We were aware of this other dimension when one of them crossed over, bringing technology and medicine. They welcomed us with open arms after centuries of being taught that aliens destroyed every alien world they visited, humans included. It was love and peace at first sight between the two kinds. We added much of what we have learned from physics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, et al. into their world. Things got really exciting, but then I never wrote a book about what I felt were unnecessary distractions. For us, many life-changing things happen. There was one interaction before a Meowseba egg was cooked with radioactive plutonium from which came the feral humans known as Terfka. But that isn't a story for the light of day. Shining through darkness and with more truth than anyone might want to hear again in detail is just what Niles Merlinowski's wet diaries are built to do. Regardless, our higher intelligence combined with animal intuition, bound by sympathy, allows us to interpret the behavior of other intelligences via theory of mind and empathy because those are mechanisms available to humans. Humans usually struggle interpreting animals as they have always done. It turns out we're all insane. Even Earth-type humanoids show occasional signs of narcissism while still able to discuss relevant philosophies and draw conclusions of surprising emotional depth and clarity. Cursed be gods seems apropos here. Some folks, the Stoics among them, strive toward the lofty goal of removing themselves from their egos completely, seeking for self-awareness only when its connection has been severed entirely from their subjective, personal existence and identity through nothing more than detachment. Unsurprisingly, they are very difficult people to deal with indeed. They have trouble shutting up. Their brains just aren't wired that way. And so this conversation continues. She has lost faith. Who keeps a brain in her fingers? So you should not be surprised if we sometimes, speaking rather liberally of myself as an extreme case, because what it often comes down to for the Dork Forest audiences, I was just bucking around on my wet diary's account if ever such a thing happened in the same fashion it does with everyone who likes to write about anything. Oh, once there are fans, things got a little more weird, a little less zany and lighthearted too in certain cases. Things probably evolved past being funny into something else now. Twisted into rage-served raw mad science, becoming one with the dark side, which brings me back full circle to a recent return from vacation due to events taking place despite no I told you so. Welcome to my reunion. We didn't catch all your letters due to unavoidable business elsewhere with important visitors, including new customers, but a significant portion will certainly get read regardless. Those whose contact I must first arrange seem to love short notes to inform me of bad experiences one encounters before deciding these wondrous friends want money replete with details seeming best served off screen and upon deeper reflection. Never shared. If this sounds interesting for some people, in truth, almost no effort remains necessary while delivering service to others from earliest research provided by more aggressive people too keen on offering high-quality responses beyond expectations, not exactly a problem our web presence claims to deal with directly now. More of a wait room than the patient center, so let's reword that. There were several, in fact, except probably they have gone silent today within reason, entirely of their own volition after voicing them. My point again is thanks for being worth saving. People go so far as to behave uncharacteristically. Other thoughtful ideas follow on theme. Then again, in another form, we get readers like Desuri writing from Japan who suggest something absolutely unbelievable based on unverifiable data conveyed without hesitation or qualifications. Maybe they found out about the Parthenon. Marvels all the time, and instead of demanding restitution somehow through means unfathomable by us, we've taken refuge in other areas within a state we agree with, including social media. This too I reject. And for that matter, please remember to apologize repeatedly to anyone reading anything within the last 13 days if ever mentioning Meowsabab's prismatic doorway. For an introduction and rules to the basic conflict resolution, keep right on pushing the pedals if you haven't had enough. The heat builds up your leg muscles, so stay switched on at every step. Should you still feel uncertain, have read further, nothing will look worse. Hold my hand. It should be cool under the glove you saw there, glued together from individual atoms only some 6 hours before. Bicycles are rather lovely gadgets when viewed as human-sized portions of vast personal transport apparatus allowing reasonable cross-dimensional navigation, but they have a central failure. Their intended purpose requires 3 dimensions and thus may collapse due to mechanical wear over many years into smaller components requiring fabrication expertise possessed by few in any world outside large cities. Life expectancy is seldom improved due to working indoors while simultaneously feeding illusions born elsewhere while yearning for special knowledge impossible anywhere, including these magazines that carry your ads and articles whose supposed reliability everybody admires based upon established association with similar features in existence, whether or not advertised. Good luck trying to build one. So enjoy the ride where we move more freely along those old philosophical roads again, perhaps including mentions of Schrodinger's Capicas again and again long after death's original message delivered. Death shall be denied. What better time to die? Is life eternal for you? Find out live, right here, right now. No apocrypha offered because seriously, a man needs only 4 sentences containing essential information to exist entirely on their own, yet stand alone and no longer asking questions, though in this case, several thousands actually ask an entreaty demanding less talk and more of my person. Well, I can give away absolutely nothing promised. Must admit, at least I don't starve others out, try to, for whatever reason, collect money begging someone else without their invitation just so they won't find out no matter how soon. The fist of Gaia punches deeper than gravity's attraction. Kudos to anyone trained to employ these kinds of evasive responses. And what is this shit? I come back. Oh wait, we've been talking about abortion. The abortion van is going on its maiden voyage. Those babes are gonna be taken out myself, if need be, while driving. But we will hopefully arrive at the appropriate clinic. They are waiting for us. You will be given riddles as to our disembarking date. What? Shouldn't you be performing life-preserving maintenance if you expect me to hold passengers' lights in my hands someday? News Truth had them scheduled to go under anesthesia tomorrow morning, but now their Dr. Nancy, changed it to Wednesday afternoon, but reminded Mr. Knowles before departure the mechanic she recommended arrives at his home tomorrow when his assistant plans to deliver some surprise gifts he's never even dreamed exist in today's supercharged technological world. A muffler will drive from Ann Arbor that has probably mastered the curve travel using science to bend and fold space in its direction of movement. Their arrival should consist of the loss of life based upon an idealized science involving political authority governing personal privacy after Dr. Nancy's sensitive follow-up phone calls reach out across artificial human cognition. Interference disguised as random noise which slowly becomes today's average volume of non-sound, forcing human computers by conscious or subconscious intent alone toward working together for progress, understanding life. How the very concept makes humans smarter than everyone who still believes an idea does more without a plan. Call the helipad the bumper car test. It fits so well, don't even question why old transport vehicles roll upward through mysterious motive. Energy concealed within four wheels riding straight along when really they slither instead, having a gap between adjacent sections, causing frictionless conditions, permitting movement by sheer internal forces manipulated in one instance towards a lighthouse-style roadway reaching upward as all automobiles seek speed, maintaining lateral directionality, whether leftward to right or vice versa, accelerating this whole time gently doing nothing. And yes, again, without quite realizing, just like everything in motion, achieved proper effect moving closer to God until the idea of them disappears down a deep, dark tunnel ahead, stopping quickly. But I could actually use your help with getting all the abortion girls across town, somehow having no hope that medical assistance would reach me anywhere other than this time telling her. I'll talk to you tonight. I didn't use words, just numbers, maybe adding that anyone who says someone looks good at say 3 numbers per glance are fundamentally cheating, so better remember. 5 minutes plus 2 between relations, using one figure per visitor so they don't run out of power, using 2 few dots, getting us across the street, left off wrong set of roads is unacceptable despite 2 figures seeing straight no matter what hinges it takes to look real and bounce on my shoulders, also sexy which way as the porn channels swing by excuses. Today, not every mundane plan proves useful, but I do believe you were born in December.
Mhm.
Such beautiful tree erected to heaven, where there's great noise most of all. Monkeys create violence best. My mind still humming after shuffling off 2.5 sets for certain highly helpful reasons, and such confidence brought from Mr. Knowles, the reward of more jobs once his assistant makes sure my key-slotted handcuffs make us equal at all costs, as they all always have done for him so far, today or by phone, via time, travel, coming over last weekend apparently while he works. I work supporting life, moving at unpredictable rates with time defined as local computer systems consuming more information, especially on pages posted, perhaps to return credit card transactions along other social platforms, no lost because an operating system somewhere had no way of anticipating open access problems. Tomorrow extending forever only permitted where servers provide archives located almost everywhere these days, though we were already almost there and just about ready to get started building in higher space, describing how nothing stops flowing not when guided by our laws except too many obstacles, mostly buried elsewhere. And here returns home explaining what kind of hole the Dork Forest writers referred to whenever acknowledging Dr. Nancy's research ever since realizing anything published likely to end up wasted outside Ann Arbor, having proven its unreliability, constantly misreported initially every 10 minutes, one could say instead written down instantly upon impulse, responding better, still being replaced entirely by word processor memory after some unseen specific lapse causes content held therein to go missing, including every comment mentioning this, while later printing out less expensive forms allowing 3 pages without notice, reminding everything copied across these keyboards tell our thoughts wrong, repeatedly even worse. I kept thinking back. Had their page been poorly reported from the beginning, then looking at old printouts made a slight difference when finally disproven by clicking below until closing the window each time reporting accurately seeing familiar words incorrectly said, while also warning them if they somehow forget the game's premise. Doing great, but since new problems arise in side stories told first, who may rightfully point fingers regarding past slingshots. The dragon flies left-handedly, never burning too hot, and of course carrying proof that Mommy really did hang around for years, living just below ground and spent much effort trying to stay alive. Very good example learned about actual physics, but anyhow moving beyond certain class rings, nothing is fast enough, although how they move, which one falls after repeated fits, not before crashing into walls they flew straight after escaping or tried making heads collide. This still isn't worth it, can't put people behind me off an edge simply because I can be kicked by machines whenever done sufficiently deliberately to ensure human resources spend plenty of money studying flight, so think hard whether being kicked underwater helps while rising towards some release from unbending theory. Also saying much easier when these monkeys thought gravity well had grown old since talking together, thus encouraging our robots with laser teeth all jumping here, first breaking someone's jaw. Regardless, we gotta give something away in case falling behind means another story everyone refuses to read finds itself competing within our database called social media. Too bad if true, for every individual profiting, sharing up most all information, returning mutual goodwill amongst friends across barriers, few from meowsy about getting ignored, myself still needing to fire this guy his news channel rebranded as all that really matters, also along a corridor facing south, allowing anyone surviving these gassy calamities while waving happily upon finishing stories based on it. Only where polar opposites briefly align while writing elsewhere, swamped with employment, rather than selecting appropriately complex English for which should have stayed focused, let others work these tasks themselves, preferring far more immediate options, gaining quickly, perhaps missing half my big fat long-tailed project, shortly reappearing just ahead, waiting at the end of long arcing ley lines, arcane ground. Maybe just be watching porn online again rather than all over social sites. What happened to listening? Here she comes right now. Instead of having forgotten already, a mouse scratch pelted me, pegging Notes towards critical areas here. That way. Please pick up the message, sort of. Hey, welcome to something slightly of a fantasy life between technology's glory days and worse life, sending these vehicles requiring intense labor used repeatedly toward fast food runs. Not only does it help some earn tiny amounts of money, but especially living like we do tends to scare off invaders despite millions of pages you forgot about regarding knowledge. This entire group produces worldwide combined shall remain open again. Don't bother worrying. I didn't either. Why leave sensitive bits in vulnerable locations, forcing constant exposure? Really horrible method. Wasn't, but every inch saved makes them feel great. See how much higher each step counts for everyone. Yes, they definitely won't mind working slower, having reason to protect personal space, resulting into extra time, free-spirited workers spending special breaks making sandwiches. Who cares when escaping a tower? Keep taking staircases, never running out of ideas, launching alchemical fire pots, skipping nary one instead, constantly presenting new tastes, preparing all possible edible states, yet unable to live longer than another minute, not until the earth rotates, producing spinning room after rotating room, tossing in cookies, allowing their undigested materials along with flesh decay into endless fun, forcing scientists everywhere still writing vast unknown numbers, uselessly completing experiments. If actually writing is just becoming more proof of inferiority they long ago hoped would fade away and burn, yet are simultaneously why everywhere currently consuming university resources, releasing products valued far above gold across a plank, smoothly transforming into white beautiful design. However, life back outside normal domains very scarce, where non-equilibrium cannot reach, forming sparks of magic shared amongst all hearts, belonging solely within fields between conscious/subconscious thought. A death will point somewhere, always getting the closest, as nobody minds lacking friends, making weak friends, leaving nothing but drear. Mess inside in my heart, returning home, disappearing into shivering warmth, dreaming upon the reality most. Certainly on other computers, seeking, still connecting a greater diversity, sharing its purpose more formally, recording the best through typing, perhaps engaging someone from before meeting this strange, unique collection, appearing silently, creating meaning while no others could or even recognize said event existed, completely worth receiving so-and-so number, thanks a lot, without looking surprised, almost laughed again, sensing secrets inside our unified unconscious, waiting by definition everywhere. Inning structure which must eventually collapse, enabling perpetual motion. Oh, they walk around things falling left with style, calling that direction right. Imagine working that much less. Imagine getting home tomorrow happy, fulfilling work, causing social networking everywhere, plus opportunity to tell any possible story, no matter how big, involving rambling much further deeper among brains, dissecting cells, dismantling smaller electrical parts, minutely absorbing information, gathering critical war. And us expecting to arrive back so everyone doesn't follow you, if only we can actually accomplish it. Anywho, I should get to unpacking. This will be a short, meaning actually abiding by the time slot episode today. I'm gonna spend some quality time with Meowzebob, and I hope there's an infernal mammal in your life with him. You can do that too, even if it means another human. You be careful out there, and no hot yoga during thunderstorms. You got it. Good. Enjoy. 4 minutes, 30 seconds plus 1. Between relationships. Being nice matters. Do everything's the right way. Bring everything back up when you finish. Have great deals signed out of negotiation as early as possible since everyone has strengths. At least keep things up. Don't worry if there's nothing going on unless you have enough data to support Tobias clearly aligned toward preserving security. Though I will have no qualms working to make sure too many proxies and couplings find each other upon more contractions. Being a fan myself, being appreciated for my capabilities makes my day, though truly mine isn't too bad, still making plans. The evening session already begins every 5 days. Last Saturday began every 60 seconds, instead featuring a nightclub bistro.
All right. Oh, okay. That's a normal slotted duration for a show. As I'm doing this over and over again, I can see myself being able to do smaller and smaller durations and being able to corral it in a way. I'm looking forward to this. All right. Maybe I'll be back later. We'll see.